Tell us your name and a bit about yourself.
I'm Shakira TAŠKIN. I'm a film writer and a best-selling author.
What do you think makes a community?
People. People make a community. Without your people and people from the same place as you, your understanding of who you are can be a little bit skewed. So it's good to understand who's in your community, who can support you, and you find out what you represent.
What do you think makes a community hero?
I think what makes a community hero is someone that understands their identity, where they're coming from, and who's involved in the community can support them to build for a better future.
Who's your community hero and why?
My community hero would be my father. He taught me what it was to build a community, how to capitalize on your community and involve others to join you and build a better foundation for others coming up.
Could you please expand on why your father is your community hero?
The reason I chose my father to be my community hero, I was introduced at a very young age into a play scheme. I went to a play scheme that showed me multiple different workshops and foundations of what it was to have a job. I didn't have a clear understanding of what my future looked like until I joined my community play scheme. It involved me participating in musical workshops, dance workshops, arts and crafts, and generalising and socialising. I was naturally quite shy as a child, and it brought me out my shell. It showed me I could be somebody that I never saw for myself, and that extended into my future career.
So what impact do you think youth centres have on the community?
Huge impact. Without my local youth centre, I wouldn't realise that performing arts was something that I could go into. It showed me that there were other people with my interests. There was a support system in place for me to build on my dreams, and it wasn't just a dream anymore. It was actually something that was reachable with the support of a youth centre, because they had the facilities and the tools to guide me into what I was interested in.
So do you think there's enough exposure for performing arts in all the communities in London?
When I started out in performing arts, my youth centre was the only hub to go to be expressive. With that, we became a group of people that just started to build dance crews, and it taught me how to progress with my creative writing. It wasn't something that just stayed in education in a school setting. I realised that my skills could turn over into something bigger and work with different people from different places in my area that I may have never met before unless I went to a youth centre.
So how do you feel about the current youth centres?
Shall I wait? Oops. Say that again.
So what do you think about the current lack of funding for youth centres and workers?
The current lack of funding is really sad for me, because I feel like we're missing a huge pool of young people that have something to say, something to gain, and obviously with that a lot of people don't have a lot of money to access things like extracurriculum, outside hobbies. Parents are struggling. Obviously the economic situation right now, there's a lot of cutbacks on what people can do out of a school setting. Hence why schools are trying to implicate more things inside, but we still need that extra community youth centre to do more fancy things that a child might be interested, be it skateboarding, bike riding, and having them outreach groups that really can tap into the individual's abilities and dreams for the future.
What piece of advice would you give to someone thinking about going into youth work?
My advice for someone going into youth worker, I was a youth worker. I started at 14 years old. It helped me to understand that the needs of others were more important than my own. It helped me to understand how to access certain things and get funding. To be a youth worker, you are a mentor, you are also somebody that people look up to, you're needed, and sometimes people need more than just the state settings. They need more, someone to be in touch with, a role model, so to speak. Being a role model is so important to young people, so they can see you and see themselves sometimes in your different experiences.
Could you tell us a bit more about your own experience as a youth worker?
My experience as a youth worker is where I started to be a dance teacher. I used my youth centre, I asked them to use their classrooms and their spaces and build community dance classes. I then used my youth centre to build creative writing workshops, which led into me becoming a writer. It gave me a space to be more expressive, where I couldn't maybe have tapped into that anywhere else. There was nowhere really that was inviting enough to feel comfortable as a young person to be able to be that expressive.
What do you know about the Windrush generation?
Windrush. So wasn't taught that in school in my day. I wasn't. I learned more about that from my own family, my father being first generation here to England, my grandparents coming over in this time and taking jobs and learning trades and building the country. I was very aware of that.
How do you feel about the standard of people from that generation?
I feel it's very sad that still our representation of being UK British is not recognised enough. We're still seen as outsiders to the country in most part, and we still are putting on a fight to be acknowledged as such. I do think there needs to be more acknowledgement to what we've done and what we are still doing here, and that recognition will filter down to the young people, and their identity will become more apparent to them that they are and can be proud to be British as well, rightly so. And I think it will help young people understand that whatever they input into this country and put in can make them feel proud, and it will give them strong identity to who they are and where they belong.
What is your advice to give to young people nowadays?
My advice to young people now is take everything that you can, utilise everything that's around you, seek out different things, don't be afraid to step into different youth centre, leisure centres, like get involved. So important to get involved.